Hey everyone, welcome to the basics of Elliott Wave Principle, a technical wave analysis approach to the forex market. So previously in the previous video, we're looking at wave degrees. In this video, we're going to be looking at motive waves. We're going to be looking at motive waves under the basics of Elliott Wave Principle series course or crash course. So far we have done quite a few videos that have made us at least that has equipped us to be able now to go into the details of the five wave pattern and the different types of patterns. So for example, we also talked about, remember, about the different wave modes. We talked about a motive mode and a corrective mode. So I told you that motive mode is the same as a motive wave. It's the same meaning. So under motive mode, or should I say motive waves, we have two types. We have two types of waves or two types of pattern that we find. So we need to understand what we mean by motive wave. So as I read through, you realize that we actually explained and talked about these very three important principles that as an Elliott analyst you should consider and strictly adhere as you are counting on your market price or in your forex market. So motive waves subdivide into five waves and always move in the same direction as a trend of one larger degree. They are straightforward and relatively easy to recognize and interpret. So they are always subdivided in five waves. So this draws us back, to the five wave pattern, and they're very easy because they follow the trend of the larger degree. So what do I mean as what I mean is if we have this as a trend up, so we're gonna pretend this is a 1 2 3 4 and 5. So this already is a motive wave because it's subdivided into five waves, and within these motive waves, which is 1 3 and 5, we also find subdivisions of five waves in them that are following the direction of this overall five wave pattern, so which is now being mentioned here as one of a trend of one larger degree. So within motive waves, wave 2 always retraces less than 100% of wave 1. This simply is talking about what we're talking about that rule that tells us that wave 2 never goes beyond the start of wave 1. So what they're trying to say and what I was talking about is the same thing. Within motive waves, wave 2 always retraces less than 100%. So it can't go beyond 100%. It can't go beyond the start of wave 1. And wave 4 always retraces less 100% of wave 3. This is the same as I was talking about wave 4 not going beyond the price territory of wave 1. So wave 3 moreover always travels beyond the end of wave 1. What does simply mean is second bring up this so we better understand. So let's pretend this is okay, let's pretend this is a wave 1, and this is a wave 2, and this is a wave 3, this is a wave 4, wave 5. So when they say that wave 3 moreover always travels beyond, so we already know that this is the territory of wave 1. So they're saying wave 3, which is this one, travels beyond. Let me even change the color. Let's make it blue. Travels beyond the start of wave 1. Wave 3 moreover always travels beyond the end of wave 1, which is here. So this is what they're trying to mean. The goal of a motive wave is to make progress, and these rules of formation assure that it will be. So we talked about how you have a constant formation of the five wave pattern of the Elliott 5-wave pattern, of the complete cycle of the Elliott wave on all degrees, as long as there's progress. So this structure allows progress to be established, for the fact that after every presiding motive wave, there's a counter trend, there's a correction. So these corrections allow progress to happen. So Elliott wave further discovered that in price terms, wave 3 is often the longest and never the shortest. Remember that we talked about this earlier in the videos. We've been talking about it in almost all the videos that we have done. Never the shortest among the three actional waves. So remember, we said that wave 1 can be the longest, but wave 3 can never be the shortest among all of the motive waves. So we can even have wave 5 being the longest, but wave 3 should never be the shortest. As long as wave 3 undergoes greater percentage movement than either wave 1 or 5, this shoe is satisfied. It almost always holds on an arithmetic basis as well. So this is just a summary or a brief of what I've been talking about or emphasizing since we started learning the 5-wave pattern. Those three principles that I kept on mentioning that you should never forget. One, remember the first one is that wave 2 never goes beyond the start of wave 1. The second one is that wave 3 is never the shortest wave. The third one is that wave 4 never goes beyond the price territory of wave 1. So there are two types of motive waves. So we have impulse and diagonal triangles. So now this is an example of an impulse. So we have an impulse in a bullish version. We have an impulse in a bullish version here. It's an impulse in a bullish version. And we also have an impulse in a bearish version. So now there are rules that govern the formation of these patterns. There are rules that you must follow to the last rule, even if they are 10 or 20, that assure you or that would increase your probability to term or recognize a certain price formation as an impulse or as a 5-wave pattern or as a diagonal. So going back, remember, be with me, we've said that we're looking at motive waves, and motive wave is the same as motive mode. So under motive wave, or should I say motive mode, we have two types of motive waves. We have an impulse and we also have a diagonal motive wave. So under an impulse, I've told you that we have a bullish version and a bearish version. These let me just clear this. So these figures here are showing us, as I stated, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. An example of a bullish model of an impulse, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is an example of a bearish model of an impulse. So we're going to go through the rules, and we're going to, as we go through the rules, we're going to let the rules help us build what an ideal impulse should be according to the rules on TradingView. So remember, I said there are two types of motive waves. We have an impulse and diagonal. This is an impulse example, and now these are the rules. So rule 1, an impulse always subdivides into 5 waves. An impulse always subdivides into 5 waves. So let's switch over to TradingView, and we're going to go through each and every rule here, and we're going to let this be our build up on how we build the ideal perfect impulse. Hey everyone, we're back here to TradingView. So let's imagine we're on the daily time frame, and we are trying, and we have recognized, if we have assumed a certain price formation that we feel is a 5-wave pattern. So the first thing that we'll do is we'll have to know the rules of what a 5-wave pattern should be or how it should build up. So remember, when we left, we had the first rule that said an impulse always subdivides into 5 waves. So we have here a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now our price is showing us that we have